For those of you who are not aware, there has been some new Wheel of Time scenes put out that we're going to be reacting to here and giving our thoughts on. Season 1, there were some things they did right. There was a whole lot of stuff that they did wrong. It's hard to judge because they got screwed by both COVID and one of their stars leaving. So I've kind of had a hard time being like, okay, what should we expect from season 2? Is this going to be a major step up? Or is it going to be just more of, what I found season 1 to be? I'm hoping major step up, not only because they don't have to battle a pandemic that hit them at like the worst possible time. Some shows do just find their footing in season 2. So I'm hoping that is the case. I still have huge gripes with season 1 that are basically changes to the source material that seem extremely unjustified. Like, the reason I was okay with the mystery of who Moraine is, essentially not okay with it, but I didn't immediately criticize it being done away with in episode 1, was I was like, okay, the way this whole show has been marketed is it's going to be more Moraine-centric than the books, and so it'll be a reinterpretation of Robert Jordan's material. And so I didn't poke holes at that right away, because I was like, okay, it might be a little bit more of a Moraine-centric, so it makes sense. We understand who she is right away. Then that just didn't happen. And so it kind of became something that, like, by episode 5, I was like, so that was just a bad choice. Now, season 2, I'm hoping they learned lessons from season 1. I hope there's a lot of course correction. And I'm hoping this Lanfear actress brings quite a bit to the table. We have 2 scenes, as far as I'm aware, that have been released, we're going to be reacting to here. If you haven't seen them, go watch them before you watch this, because I'm going to be stopping it and breaking it on up. So either Wheel of Time will descend into so bad it'll just require deep dive into its badness with season 2, or it'll be a hopeful step up. I'm always a little bit hopeful for the latter. But let's go ahead and start this reaction with what looks like, sorry, let me not say the spoiler here, Selene and Rand having a bit of a moment. If the tone is right, there should be a whole lot of, oh, shit, in the air. Because Rand is a young doofus here being manipulated, which isn't a spoiler. I mean, that's like overt in the book the second you meet this character.
My friends, they used to dream of cities and traveling. But not me. Up here, the world looks like it still fits together. I can believe it's not broken.
You want to go back there?
The wheel never gives anyone what they want. Least of all me.
No one and nothing ever gives you what you want. If you want something, you have to take it.
Okay, so just right away, the vibe is right in terms of these characters interacting from books to show, at least in how this is being presented. I couldn't immediately latch onto anything to see if the world jumping that happens in book 2 is also being presented here. I was searching the background to see if we got any of that. The manipulation seems tonally right, and I also have never had a problem with really any of the acting in season 1. I think the acting was good, and I'm still seeing good acting here. And I also like, there's a specific choice here, and it seems like it's having this character be manipulative, but it's in a way that allows Rand to feel like he's having some agency, some control. That's all tonally right. That's true to the characters and what's happening here. He's leaning in to kiss her after she's making it overtly transparent that she wants to kiss him. And with the sexuality already amped up from season 1, from book 1, it makes sense that they're already just hitting on this at the level that they are. So I got no issue with that. Visually, though, I immediately have one problem in that this is very clearly a wig or just really aggressively dyed hair. I can't tell which. Also, Buzz Yosha Stradowski, it's a good look. I don't know what it is about this. It's a good look for him. I don't know if it's the right look for Rand. I've always pictured Rand with his red hair showing up big time. I really want to see if there's anything I can spot here that lets me know they are where in the books they're supposed to be for this interaction. I just don't know if it's there. I can't see anything that just tells or screams that. And that's what I'm so confused about for season 2. How are they going to get where they need to get for book 2, I'm just so confused by that. Good shot there. Very good music in terms of eeriness. I hate backscabbards. I hate backscabbards always. Backscabbards are stupid. I know they are in the Wheel of Time. I know they're in every fantasy thing ever. They're wrong and they're dumb. This was less than I expected it to be when I sat down to do this reaction, but it's perfectly okay. They're setting the tone for these 2 characters, and the tone seems about right. All right, let's watch this next scene, which I've been told is a little bit more. And it's got our boy here, Logain, who is my favorite performance that feels very, very wrong for the character. I think he's doing a really good job with whatever he's doing. Does not feel like Logain to me. I've always said madness in Wheel of Time, reading the books, ebbs and flows for certain characters. I'm hoping season 1 Logain, he was just really in the depths of it, and we're about to see it pull back for him in season 2, because if you pay attention to men who slowly go insane in the Wheel of Time, wow, it feels good to be talking about Wheel of Time again. Wow, if you pay attention, men who go insane, they go more insane than less insane, then more insane than a little bit less, and it's kind of like that ebb flow happens to Rand constantly. So I'm hoping he's gonna have it kind of pull back here, because yeah, you're right here, Breezaholic. He comes across like a mixture of Mazarim and Logain, which I don't want. I want those to be 2 different characters, because in the books, the difference between those 2 and the like background rivalry is great. All right, but let's go ahead and watch this.
How long are you going to wait?
I'm sorry?
Before you ask me what you want to ask me. A few days? A few weeks? Must have taken you months to work your way in here. You're more patient than I am.
Yeah, there's so much menace in his performance, which is fine. It's an actor choice. It just doesn't feel very Logain to me. If you're going to, we don't know, at least I haven't heard, if Taim is going to be, Mazarim Taim is going to be in the show or not. So if they're combining the characters, it does feel like a blend of Logain and Mazarim Taim to me. Let's see how this goes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't lie to me, boy. I remember you from Tarvalone.
I remember you. I'm tired of alone.
Those women parade me through the streets like an animal.
You must be confused.
Nah. I can see it. When another man can channel, there's a glow. And yours was brighter than any I've ever seen. I'll never forget looking up and seeing you sitting on that wall. I knew you.
I do not like the visual effect of this. This looks like Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan, but like not Dragon Ball Z the show, like the bad movie. It's like so much with the pattern, so many things that Robert Jordan intentionally did that are really hard to actually visualize, like ageless faces. I don't know how to visualize this different. It's just not the way I would have done it. Man, I almost wish it was more subtle. I don't know. God, that's a difficult ask. I would, if you've seen Oppenheimer, there's like this distortion effect they did around Oppenheimer in a moment where they were trying to represent him having an anxiety attack. And with what the channeling is, I almost would have wanted something like that, that's like minor around people who are weaker, but much more severe around someone like Rand. That it would have been disloyal to the books, but it at least would have been an effect that would have been easier to accomplish and would have, I think, implied a lot of the world building, a lot of the tone, a lot of the tension from male channeling that the show clearly has ground to make up on.
Looking up and seeing you sitting on that wall. I knew you'd shake the world. Caged as I was, I couldn't help laughing.
But, okay, I'm not seeing that big of an effect around him. Like, I always pictured when a man who could channel saw Rand's power, which they do when they jump in and you know, see him in this way. I always pictured it as like this boom of a visual because he is that powerful. This doesn't look that powerful. This is like the kind of aura I would expect to see around Logain.
Shake the world. Caged as I was, I couldn't help laughing. here you are now, all these months later, all these miles away. So ask me.
It's a good performance. I really like the acting of Logain here. I do like it. I'm so conflicted on that. It's a good performance.
What you came here for?
Potato, that's exactly right. It's more of like I wanted more of that anxiety feeling. I don't want necessarily like a Super Saiyan glow, which is what they had. I want more of that, just something that feels like the world is like under pressure itself. Reality's having problems, because that's the feeling they should be having.
I want to know how to control it.
Yeah, I'm still unsure how to feel about going into season 2. I want it to rock. I want it to kick ass. I have faith in these performers. I just don't have faith as much in the editing and the writing. And so I really want to see that consistency stepped up. I'm starting to dig Bald Rand. I was originally anti-Bald Rand, but sorry, not Bald, Buzz. Buzz Rand's got a vibe, and if they're going to be cranking through his character, I would like to see the angry Rand that we get a bit later come in a bit sooner, and I feel like that could complement, without getting into spoilers, what his character has to go through with these next few chapters and justify some of the manipulation that's effective on him, because when you're angry, you're pretty easy to manipulate super well. So that angle to it, I don't know, I always associate a Buzzcat with being angry, don't know why. The blocking I've also had issues with at time in the show, but I like the blocking here where you see Rand kind of sit next to him and you don't lose that Rand is definitely taller. Rand is the more imposing figure. Rand, on a measurements of objectivity, is the more imposing figure. But Logain, or if they're combining the characters, I'm not saying necessarily are, Mazrim Gain, I'm not sure. I think it's just Logain, but he's got more of an intensity to him even in this shot that you can feel. So I'm getting that. That's good. Have I seen the Nynaeve scene? No, I have not. Here we go. All right, let's give this a little look.
What are they?
Terran Grail.
What do they do?
Many things, child. They are.
All right, just stopping here. Not how I pictured this room, but I get making it this way. It looks ancient as hell, which this is supposed to be. And I haven't seen a whole lot, so I don't want to say this with confidence, but the Aes Sedai aren't as cartoonish as they came across in season 1 to me, which I think we all know what I'm talking about, the scene where they all run in and do X's with their hands for some reason and came across like a cartoon. This isn't giving me that vibe I'm getting from the sisters. A little more intimidating, a little more Aes Sedai, a little more what I expect. And I like that we're actually getting these explanations for what this shit is, because dear God, did season 1 not explain the incredible magic system Robert Jordan created well enough.
A time when women could create objects from the One Power itself. Some Terran Grail are made to work by Aes Sedai, like this one. Others do what they do simply with the presence of any woman who can channel.
We don't know why they were made. Most we've learned at great cost to avoid. Many Aes Sedai have been killed or burned out learning that.
And you want me to just walk through them?
We know what this one does. It will bring you face to face with your greatest fears, and what those fears are for you to know. And you need to tell no more than you wish.
So, what, I just walk through one arch and out again? 3 times through and it's done?
If you wish to boil it down that far. Yes.
2 things we will tell you now that no woman hears.
Don't treat this like a B-plot. That's one thing I'm really hoping for with this episode. I hope this is the main focus of this episode. I hope it allows Nynaeve to shine, and I hope it's brutal. I hope it's terrifying. I hope the way it's presented is psychologically damaging to the character, because that is what the Aes Sedai are doing to the people who are training at this point. They are basically traumatizing people to see if you can hack it as an Aes Sedai and keep your head. People go through this and die. People go through this and are never seen again. And this should be traumatizing to the character and viewer. And I hope that that is realized. It's part of the whole, there's horror in Wheel of Time that I've talked about so many times, and was one of the few moments when season 1 was able to shine is when they figured that out and leaned into that. So I really, really hope this is not a B plot. I hope it's the main focus of the episode it's in, and I hope it gets the bulk of the runtime.
Until she's in this room. The first, once you begin, you must continue to the end. Refuse to go on, and you will be put out of the tower with enough silver to support you for a year, but you will never be allowed back.
Second, to seek, to strive, is to know danger, and you will know danger here.
I get the choice as a performer. I think she's actually delivering it quite well. But all I can think is fierce gaze. just don't blink. It's a fine performance. It fits the character. I'm not actually criticizing it. It's just that's what popped into my dumb head.
Women have entered and never come out.
This is your last chance, child. You may turn back now, right now, and you will only have one mark against you. Twice more you'll be allowed to come here, and only on the third refusal will you be put out of the tower. I myself cannot do it the first time here.
If you are doing this for someone else, you will fail. Do this for you. Or not at all. I'm ready.
I actually think that was a really good clip to release as a teaser too. That's, you know, it's one of those things that you didn't spoil anything in terms of how it's going to turn out, but it's a hell of a setup for an episode. It's not enough for me to like fully judge season 2, but it's given me a little bit of hope because I'm feeling the tension here a little bit. I'm hoping that we're not going to get Aes Sedai treated like Power Rangers again, and I think as long as the show realizes they have a really strong cast of performers, you know, and just focus on them, lean into that, because they've proven that they can hold up a scene, even with okay written dialogue, to be somewhat engaging. So yeah, I'm okay with that. I think I'm sitting roughly where I was. You know, I wasn't expecting my opinion to shift wildly by these clips. I am hopeful as an avid Wheel of Time fan. I really want this to be good. I just am cautious because I feel like I got burned a little bit in season 1, although it wasn't nearly as bad as some people claim. And of course, a whole lot of people are going to read into this, judging by my previous videos, and say either I'm a hater who hates everything or I'm a Wheel of Time simp who can't be critical of anything. And I look forward to those comments. It'll be like old times.